welcome everyone to episode number 3.
Yes, welcome.
They said it couldn't be done, to Healthy, Simplified Mind, Body, and Spirit. My name is Mike Keenan, and always my co-host here,
Suzanne Grennan.
Okay, and our wonderful engineer, Christian. Christian, how you doing down there?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. You have a nice weekend?
I did, actually.
Yeah, I did too. It was really great. What'd you do this weekend?
Well, actually, mine wasn't as exciting. I did some cleaning out and tossing out, and as I was doing that, I came across a great article.
Well, I'm all ears.
Okay.
Do tell.
Well, you know, it hit home because when you watch all those commercials on TV about all these prescription medications, first of all, the article hits upon that, and it hits about, you know, the rising cost of prescription medications, that they are just like skyrocketing. And the reason being is, you know, we live in a world of strong patent laws and limited regulations. So, you know, these pharmaceutical companies can charge whatever they want. It's doubled, even tripled in the last decade for a brand name drug.
Yeah, I know. I kind of see that a little bit too from talking with my clients and stuff like that. Certainly makes one more interested in taking better care of themselves and eating and sleeping and all the things we've been talking about with Healthy Simplified.
Well, you know, that's how I feel, because it's, if you invest in your health now, okay, you're not going to have to pay later.
Yep.
You know, so we actually, how many people do we know? Like hundreds of people that have changed their lives because they learned nutrition is key, and if taken at the right time of day, it's beneficial. And what happened to them?
They all lost weight. They improved their health, and you know,
they went off the drugs.
And they got off the pharmaceuticals. I'm thinking about that fella Byron. I don't know what was his last name, but what was he on? Like 100?
75 different drugs he was on.
Yeah, I think he's down to 6 now. That's fantastic.
I mean, he was huge, you know, and he admits it. He was over 400 pounds or something.
Like that, yeah.
And if you saw him now, you would never know.
No, you wouldn't recognize him.
And that was like, what, in a year and a half?
Yeah.
Year and a half.
Oh, they will start eventually putting some of those testimonials up on our site. Yeah. Well, that all brings us to the topic of the week. It all begins in the gut.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's exactly why we're here, to tell them about gut health.
You know, basically, it all begins in the gut, and what do we say? You can't out-exercise a bad diet, right?
No, and abs are made in the kitchen, correct?
They are, and so that leads us into our first discussion. Tell me a little bit about...
Well, the reason, too, why we're here, it's, you know, we're not just here to share information, but we really want to present some solutions to you, and that's the whole purpose of Healthy Simplified, you know, to try to make it easy for you and to understand what's going on, so you can work with your body and learn from your body.
Right. So I know a lot of your clients are always asking you about your health and wellness, and more specifically about having 5 kids?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of people ask me, you know, how do you stay so slim with 5 kids? Well, first of all, you never get to sit down. That's half of it. And you want to cook healthy for your kids. But I wasn't always slim. You know, you definitely have to work at it. I watch what I eat. When I was in high school, you know, you're eating hamburgers, you're going out, you know, it's just crazy food. And I found that I would get swollen or bloated. There's times, like if I ate too much meat, I'd be constipated, to be honest.
Sure.
You know, that's uncomfortable. So I really started to change the way I ate, you know, exercised. I started doing a lot of research. And in that, you know, you learn about food, you learn what's good, bad, about your vitamins, about all that, and they've really helped me. But a funny story, Mike, okay? This really is funny. So I'm sitting with a client one day, and of course she's talking about her boyfriend. They had a fight or whatnot, and it came down to, of course, women saying men think with their little brains.
Hey now,
right?
whoa.
Yeah. So after that night, really just being silly, I just said, you know what? I want to look up little brain and see what it says. Well, to my surprise, it talks about the gut, which is also considered your second brain.
That is a surprise.
Isn't it?
I got to get my mind
So
out of
you
the
guys
gutter.
are off the hook.
Yeah, thank God.
So, you know, when we talk about the gut, all right, let's get into it. And also, your gut has over 1,000 neurotransmitters. transmitters. Sometimes I get stuck. Anyway, more than your entire body. All right? And those transmitters have the job of telling the brain what to do. And how is it that they do that? Because there's a direct line, the vagus nerve, that goes from your gut to your brain and vice versa. So your brain and gut are talking all the time, and that's why you'll hear, oh, do you have that gut instinct? You know, those
Gut feel,
words-
sure.
Yeah, gut feeling. Well, and you're like, how could that be? So you wonder who tells who first, you know?
Yeah, it goes back and forth. I always tell my clients that we're nothing more than educated barcode readers, and this genetic information that comes in the food and the things you drink, and our body interprets that and determines what it's going to do with this food, and that's the biggest problem with people who consume a lot of artificial ingredients, genetically modified organisms. Your body doesn't recognize it, so it doesn't really know what to do with it. So, exactly. So, with that being said, there's more bacteria in your gut than there are cells in your body. And what do they do for us? They help us with digestion. They help us with our immune system. And what do? We feed it the right foods so that they have good nourishment. So in essence, we're nothing more than hosts for bacteria.
Exactly. And that's a great point because, if you picture your digestive system, your gut, as like a tropical garden or a tropical rainforest or whatever, picture with those little creatures running around where you have good bacteria, bad bacteria, okay? The main goal is to feed your good bacteria. Okay, that's your prebiotics and probiotics. The prebiotics feed the probiotics. And if that becomes imbalanced and the bad bacteria take over, that's where havoc takes over.
Yep.
All right, so what happens is the bad bacteria kills off the gut flora, then it starts to eat away at your mucus lining, and it creates these gaps. So when you have toxins or undigested proteins, they creep through these little gaps and go right into the bloodstream. And what does that cause?
Sets off an autoimmune response.
Right. Inflammation, IBS, could be arthritis, many different things. They're even saying now that gut health, what is it?
With the dementia
Yes.
and Alzheimer's.
Because I just got it.
Right. Well, and it's obviously...
And Parkinson's.
And
It's like
Parkinson's.
Parkinson's.
So it's like you're trying to diagnose a brain dysfunction, but it's really starting and it all comes from the gut. So when my clients say to me, well, how do I know that I'm doing the right thing for my gut? I always tell them, I go, well, is your heck in check?
Okay, so what is heck?
I knew that was coming. Well, heck is just an acronym for hunger, energy, and craving. So let's say you have a meal. Well, how do you feel after that meal? Do you have a tremendous amount of energy, or do you feel like it's time to go lay down?
Right.
What is your hunger like? Remember, hunger comes from the stomach, cravings come from the mind. And that brings a very good story about the difference between hunger and cravings, and I call it my Thanksgiving story. So basically, you're sitting down to Thanksgiving, you just had a full meal, you had your turkey, you had your greens, you had all this really good food, and then someone walks in with a platter of the turkey and says, would anybody like some more turkey? Now, protein is very satisfying. It actually helps to control hunger. So you might say, oh, I had enough, thanks anyway. And then 2 minutes later, someone walks in with pumpkin pie.
Please.
And you say, well, maybe I got a little
more room.
A little more room. That's cravings. That's your brain screaming at you saying, oh, sugar, I want this, right? So it's important to realize that we need to be able to differentiate between hunger and cravings and how your energy is. So, wouldn't it be great if there was something that we could use that would help us to control hunger and energy cravings?
Don't we know that there is?
There is. Well,
actually,
that's news to
Mike
me.
and I know of something. We discovered a great little drink that helps with all three of those: your hunger, your energy, and your cravings. Right. And combined with
the amino acids. Amino acids are proteins that readily break down very quickly into glucose to help feed your brain and nervous system, which helps with those sugar cravings, and we call that the power couple. Exactly. And so what we're going to ask you to do is in the comments section, if you want to find out more about the power couple,
it's amazing.
Leave us a comment and then we'll get you some free information. We'll send you a video. We'll make sure that you
Exactly.
know exactly what we're talking about. And I have a lot of clients that are using that right now, and they say to me, you know what? That afternoon where I'm looking for coffee, I'm
Yeah.
looking for a donut, I'm looking for a candy bar, I'm looking to run out to the convenience store to just get anything, they use this. They say, you know what? I'm good till dinner now.
I know.
It's fantastic.
I know. I use it, believe it or not. I stand all day for work, and I couldn't live without it. So, especially when you're, doing people's hair, because that's what I do.
Yep.
And,
Making the world look beautiful.
oh, got to make them look beautiful. So remember, please like, comment, and share. If you start a watch party even. We do have prizes that we hand out. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, absolutely. So, again, every week we're going to have the challenge of the week. And this week's challenge is go ahead and for 1 week, go ahead and start charting your food. Last week, when we talked about proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, it's important to understand the differences. And if you don't remember what we talked about, go back and watch that. But just chart for a week and start to see what healthy foods you're putting in your body. And then, of course, what your response to those foods are going to be. How does your heck? Are we able to help you get your heck back in check? That's really important.
And when you're getting those cravings, are you satisfied, and what can you change in those meals? So,
Absolutely.
listen, please, we ask you if you'd like to come back and visit us for episode 4. Okay,
Wow.
we're going to be talking about how diet and exercise affect your hormones, your health, and fitness, and how to take advantage of those.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you for joining us for podcast number 3. We hope you got a lot of information. Now, don't forget, comment, like, and share for prizes. And if you're interested in learning more about the Power Couple, leave us a comment, and we'll get back to you on that. All right. Christian, thanks again for a wonderful show. We appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
All right.
We'll
Listen.
see you next time.
See you all next time. Take care. Have a great weekend.